Hi, my name is Fred Cohen, and this is our presentation for today's Pitch Global session. If I can't make it in person, of course, this is our substitute. We're facing the greatest danger that we've faced as human society in 100 years. Unlike nuclear war, this is actually happening. And it also is, it's your chance to do something great. I'm Fred Cohen, president of the Pebble Beach chapter of Keiretsu Forum, CEO of Management Analytics. I also run Fearless, which does cybersecurity decision support, and I'm the managing member of Angel to Exit. Oh, gotta push the right buttons. I want you to note the dazzling graphics. Okay, just thought you'd want to know that. The world is changing, and it's changing now. You're in a live online remote today because of COVID-19. And this is going to last at least a few months, maybe 18, depending on how things go. And it's going to linger for years before a vaccine and a cure come into place. It's not going away. It is likely that millions will die, something like 1 in 100, according to the World Health Organization and the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. You're going to know some of them, and some of us might be among them. In fact, likely so. Trillions of dollars will be lost. And I'm not just talking about theoretical stock market valuations. I'm talking about real people suffering real harm. And you're going to be live online remote next year, and not because of the coronavirus, but because it's better, faster, cheaper, and safer, easier, more efficient, more effective, and so forth. That is to say, we've been live online remote for the last 5 years for these same reasons. So what else is going to change and stay changed? So COVID-19 originated in China, and so the Chinese character for crisis also means danger and change. I'm going to warn you that Wei, danger, and Ji, something, when something changes, but I don't know Chinese, so I'm trusting some internet site for this, but I had a notion that was true before. But this means you, me, and the global society could collapse, or we could use the opportunity to make positive changes and change the world for the better. So the question really is, how do we do that? And this is not a philosophical question. It's an opportunity, a unique opportunity in our lives, and it's not going to last very long. Weeks to months for those who are able to act now, and this is going to allow you to solidify positions that will change the world. And the question is, how are you going to use it? Are you going to use it to better the world and enrich the lives of everyone everywhere, or are you going to take advantage of others? And I think people are going to be doing both of these things. They already are. And many of us, of course, will simply be trying to survive. So some basic questions. What are you going to expect? How many people will die, how soon? The curve obviously doesn't look very good. And by the way, disinformation will kill people and is already killing people. The exponential growth is going to happen for a while, weeks to months. If we exceed medical capacity, that means we're going to have 10 to 20 times the number of deaths we would have if we had the medical capacity to care for people that would otherwise survive. And the estimates that we've heard from congressional testimony and the CDC and so forth are something in the range of, in the US, 100 million people die, 1% will get the disease, 1% will die no matter what we do, 20% may need ventilators to survive. We don't have enough of those. We only have so many, a couple 100,000 beds and fewer ventilators, and running out of medical equipment. So the question is, how can we bend the curve, and how can you and I, what can we do about it? This is on the right is the situation as of this morning, according to, online news sources, which are in fact, of course, reliable. This is not the fake news that you hear on some channels. How can we bend the curve? Well, social distancing, which, is the same as saying, stay the F away from me, it's physically, not emotionally. That's the thing. If you do emotional separation, you're going to have horrible cognitive effects on society. But staying physically distant from people is a critical way to stop the spread, reduce the spread, bend the curve so that we don't overrun the health system. There are some, things you can do, obviously, live online remote instead of in person. Communication replaces non-critical transportation, and supply chain critical issues come up. For example, food delivery is now a new critical infrastructure, and as are many other delivery services, if you do them safely. Which brings us to hygiene, both personal and for things, packages, clothing, and so forth. And these are charts I hope you have seen. It's not the flu. If we don't bend the curve with protective measures, we're going to be in that part in the blue box, and that means lots of other people are going to die. So you need to do social distancing, physical only, not emotional. Use the internet to communicate to your family, to your friends, to other people, to stay in touch and to keep everybody healthy, but also sane. Now, what can you and I do about it? What am I doing about it today? Well, you can see this is sort of my schedule this week. Today, I'm spending time with you to help you, get engaged in these issues and coordinating an investment fund and a score due diligence initiative. That was what I did earlier today. And tomorrow, I have appointments with several of you. And so obviously, not only are we still working, in some sense, we're working much more and much harder and much more efficiently and getting more things done because of the criticality of the situation. So investors, what everybody can do today is focus your attention on opportunities and do well by doing good. Fundamental, don't, try and convince people to smoke more cigarettes because not only will it kill you from the cigarettes, but if your lungs are in bad shape, it's much worse for COVID. Invest now in quality opportunities that address the needs. Food and goods delivery to homes right now. And there are companies in this space right now that could use investment and that could, make a significant difference over the next months. And of course, obviously over years, be prosperous as well. Washable beds. I have a company that does washable beds. They're breathable, washable. Basically you can kill off coronavirus if you get over 132 degrees Fahrenheit, which you can do in an industrial washer with no problem. Teleworking solutions that can scale and reduce costs. And remember, just because you can scale doesn't mean it's going to cost less. So saving money is also important. Rapid manufacturing of critical medical equipment and supplies. You see people are 3D printing masks, which are in desperate need, and they do it for like less than a tenth of the cost that the mass-produced ones are currently being sold for. So, dropping the price and increasing the volume seems to me to be a rational thing to do. Create a new competitive environment and displace these old companies that were, taking lots of profits and not serving the needs when it's critical. And lots of other things that work now and in the future. I want to emphasize you need things that don't just work today that will still be a business in the future. It's not just about the quick buck, it's about the long-term benefit to society and of course to our pocketbooks. Now for entrepreneurs, of course, the same basics apply. You want to bring real opportunities that can make a real difference. Present them live, online, remote, and do your prep work well. March 31st, we have the next pitch session. Go to Angel and Pitch Global of a joint effort. Get good mentoring. This is one of the wonderful things that's offered by Pitch Global that we've certainly embraced. And don't take forever to move forward. And then, of course, join together to make a difference for us all. So just to be clear, don't panic. That's right. Do not misinterpret my presentation as inducing a panic response. This is not a panic. We've known about this for months. Certainly December, news was out. By January, we knew it was a serious problem in China. By February, we had a good sense it was going to go pandemic. Our teams have been preparing for these changes for years. Like 5 years, Angel to Exit has been live, online, remote. We just never thought we'd do it any other way. And most of what we're doing now, we've done for decades. So, making good investments now. It's not just pouring money into anything that comes along. It's due diligence, has to remain critical, and it can be done quickly. And we use technology to support that, and metrics are a particularly important part of that. So making good decisions is something that one of my companies has been working on since 1977, including building tools to support this. This is an example of a portfolio tool that we use for metrics. In fact, we'll be making it available for folks starting at the beginning of next month through these Pitch Global sessions. So companies can put the metrics in and the investors can look at metrics on companies and do comparisons. Here's another example. It's called MAST, which is a score due diligence effort by Deliver, D-I-L-I-V-E-R. And they're providing this to investors, sell side and buy side for mergers and acquisition. And it includes operational diligence to augment your financial and legal diligence. Another important thing is to be able to compare apples to songs. Yes, it's not just oranges, they're both fruits. Making better decisions means having better tools in the hands of skilled craftspeople with strong experience in the relevant areas where they're making the decisions. So, get expertise, get good tools, and inform those decisions you make. Very important to understand nobody does everything. This is an example of one of the things from our diligence package. So what we're looking at in this particular case is how you're going to market. The critical thing to understand for entrepreneurs especially is, well, actually, if you're trying to boil the ocean, global warming can do it, but your company probably cannot. So focus on the big market where you can grow and do good things for lots of people while making money for your investors in a fairly rapid exit. So that's all it takes. Another very important thing to note is urgency versus importance. It's time to act now. It's sort of the opportunity of a lifetime to make good decisions, but you can also make bad decisions. So you want, good tactical decisions. The first thing is get your family safe before anything else. And that certainly is the first thing that I did and we did in my family. And then save the world around you. Make good long-term decisions that also help now. Many things are both urgent and important today, and each has limited resources, right? So allocate your resources quickly and thoughtfully. And I just want to reiterate, don't panic. To be clear, people make mistakes. To err is human is an old saying. To really screw things up, it takes a computer. Fraudsters are out and about. How do you tell the difference? Well, due diligence. Quicker and more effective in teams with tools. So get a team, use good tools. But this is also a time that's going to test your morality and all of our moralities. People who are normally ethical and moral will do bad things to protect their families and themselves, to get food, water, shelter, and anything else. And the question, of course, is can you retain your morality even when it gets bad? So just to reiterate, don't panic, plan it. And now on to today's opportunities.